record. Thank you. Fantastic. So yes, big welcome. So this is the webinar to help you with 3 things you can do right now to keep cool in times of uncertainty. And we know, right now things are very different out there and in our lives as well. So we thought, we come together as a community and we want to help you. And so I just want to do a little bit of an introduction, and then I'll tell you about how this come about, and obviously 3 things we're going to talk about and help you will be the money mindset and money management right now. We want to help you reduce anxiety and increase your health as well. And then also another point which we believe is very important right now is if you are working from home and if you are still managing teams remotely, or you are working from home and obviously you have children, like I've got my children at home. So how do you manage all of this stuff, right? So I just want to step back and talk a little bit about how this all came about, because I feel like almost there is no coincidence that I am here right now with you in this time, and that everything that's going on has actually happened because I had some sort of calling, a mission given to me 18 months ago. And that started off by, that mission said, go and write the book with 100 inspirational women. And I didn't know what it was, and I've never really had a desire to actually write a book. But I thought, well, something higher up is telling me to go and do that. So I did then go, and so far I've written a book, 2 books. One is called Rise in Pursuit of Empowerment. The other one's called Joy, Recipes for Abundance, and they each actually feature 25 inspirational entrepreneurs that are telling their true stories and inspire, and how we can actually live every day in that joyful moment. And I think what's going on right now is actually teaching us how we should actually retreat, how we should actually just enjoy life as it is and not always thinking about materialistic things. Could you please unmute if you're joining us on Zoom? That would be fabulous. Or maybe one of my assistants can mute everyone, so we're all good. Thank you. So I don't believe this is a coincidence that we've come together and that I had this mission given to me, and I've written those 2 books together with those 50 women. Of course, there are 2 more books to come. With that, funny enough, I was actually invited to go and speak to organizations because they felt women, especially men probably too, they need inspiration, right? And I think this inspiration through this time is coming. We are all having an awakening, and this is the right time to talk about this. And 12 months ago, the mission actually came out even stronger from the books, is actually to create a whole portal with other experts that have come together now. Right. In the meantime, we've put that together and we've created the Empowerment Portal, which actually holds all kinds of different resources, meditations, leadership tools, career development, coaching, entrepreneurship, the whole lot. It's like a whole umbrella type of platform that we've created. And the first thing I said is, look, we have the resources. We want to actually bring free webinars during this time and help people, who may feel anxious, who may want some support with regards to working from home, with regards to looking after the children. And of course, you may have some questions and concerns which you can actually ask our experts, right? So right now I've brought together 3 experts for today, which is Laura Ash, Sharon Bowes, and Emma Gosling. And now myself, I'm your host. I'm Sabine Matharu, and I am actually an entrepreneurship coach. So I help women start and grow their businesses, and I believe this will even be more so relevant going forward, because people actually do probably want to work much more online, and that's what I do. So Emma is a transformational, oops, that was too fast. She's a transformational therapist and a mindset coach. So she will be talking about how to help you reduce current anxiety. Laura is also a transformation coach, but she more or less specializes in living healthier lives, and also she's going to talk about food and nutrition, and things that are absolutely relevant right now. I was going to say Emma today is going to talk about money and money mindset, because she also talks about those areas, and I think we are very anxious about what's going to happen with our money and how things are going to move forward and how businesses are going to move forward. And then lastly, we'll have Sharon, who is a change catalyst and is also working with entrepreneurs, but she is very much specializing in leadership. So she will talk about how we can actually handle sort of working from home and, you know, potentially leading our teams that may now be virtual. And so for my humble sort of input, I thought, well, I'm going to actually do the introductions and I'll do the close at the end as well. But then from my perspective, I just want to share one thing, which is the whole, well, you call it kind of homeschooling, but, you know, of course we got the kids at home, and it's time of like, well, you got to sit down between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. and do your kind of usual hours, right? It's probably not quite like this. So I just want to give you a couple of tips as to how I'm organizing myself. As you can see, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. And luckily my husband is now looking after the kids. Obviously he's working from home now. So they're outside in the garden and they're having fun. And, you know, so it's not like strict sort of agenda that we're following. But we do get up and, you know, at sort of a decent time, we will sleep in a little bit and relax, because obviously the more sleep we have, the less we will be anxious, the more healthy we will be. I'm sure Laura will be talking a little bit about that as well. But we do get up, and then we do some exercise in the morning straight away. There's some great YouTube resources out there, and you will notice probably that a lot of people are offering online kind of resources and online or doing live kind of online sessions. So we do PE in the morning kind of thing, and then they do like their work packs that they have from the school. And I just had a note from a very experienced homeschooler, and I just want to kind of share that in here, is for any parent who's a bit sort of anxious about managing the time. But basically, when people are homeschooling, it only needs about 1 to 2 hours of schooling per day, right? Really focused schooling. And for middle schooling, they are suggesting 2 to 3 hours. And for high schoolers, 3 to 4 hours. So don't expect them to spend 6 to 8 hours of school per day. This is apparently not how homeschooling is supposed to work. And there's obviously many resources available to you online. And plus also inside the Empowerment Portal, we have pulled together a whole page for homeschooling resources as well. So yeah, and they also say let them sleep in, it's good for the immune system, and there's no need to get rest and all that. Of course, they maybe should be doing their brush and hand washing, that kind of stuff. And then talk to them about what they want to work on as well, right? And let them be part of their planning. So my kids actually put their time planner together, and that means they're actually more likely to do it because they planned it. So if they don't want to do something, then I'll say, well, didn't you commit to doing that? Isn't that your own plan? So they'd rather actually do it if they actually had a say in terms of planning their time. And also, if there's nice weather, let them go outside. If if you're fortunate enough, you have a garden, let them go and play in the garden, because sun apparently is very, very good for your immune system. And also that will actually increase the vitamin D levels in vitamin D levels in your body, and as we know, that's going to help with fighting off any viruses. So yeah, so what we don't want to do is having a completely stressful time at home with sort of fighting over who's going to do what when. So I have completely shut down my own business in the mornings so I can be with my children and focus, and we can have a nice time together. And it's not like like bickering or anything like that. And I will also make time later in the day to do some more creative things with them, like playing a board game. And I think this is potentially what this situation may be teaching us, to just changing our mindset in that sense, and just rethinking some of that. And I hope, Laura, if you haven't got it, please, you posted on an email yesterday the mindset shifts that someone had posted. I would really love you to potentially just read that to us later on. So be gentle to yourself, be gentle with your kids. just see it as a positive, as a sort of coming together in these times, and sort of reviewing how we are actually living our lives. As I said, I don't believe it is a coincidence. I'm even more so now feeling called to actually do more and more of these things and really stepping up and working with these amazing women. We're light workers. We're here to actually help in this crisis. And yeah, and that's what we do. That's what we specialize. That's what we work towards all our lives. And we always believe there must be something more than just like a 9 to 5 routine, and people are being like wanting more and more and more in their lives and expecting more and more things. And I can see with my children, you know, they want their iPads, they want their stuff from Amazon like tomorrow, right? But now it's a time of like, hang on, you don't need all that stuff, and you don't need it like right away. So let's just all slow down and relax and enjoy this moment in a sense. Because how many times do you have that how many do you think it's going to happen again, like in our lifetime, that you will be locked in at home and you have time to reflect and perhaps even develop yourself, right? So I think it's enough from me, because I want to open, let's go with exactly this order. We'll talk to Emma first about money mindset and money like management, or you know, how we can actually think about money right now. And what I'll do is I'm also going to stop sharing the screen so we can open up the whole stage for the lovely Emma. And let's unmute you too. You ready?
Hi, thank you, Sabine. Thank you for inviting me along today. Yes, interesting times, and I thought I was going to be alone for this little chat, but it seems there's an early arrival of hopefully I'll be able to get across my messages without being interrupted. We'll see. So I'm going to talk about the importance of understanding our limiting beliefs about money and what that actually means, why we need to shift those beliefs right now, you know, with everything that's going on, and how we can do that. How can we actually make those shifts? How can we make those changes to keep money flowing into our lives? So, oh, it's a big topic, money. It's apparently one of the things that most couples argue about. And guess what? We're going to be spending a lot more time with our partners, with our families right now. So an advert, I think it was last year, for Lloyds Bank, and they had this whole advert about people not wanting to mention the word money, like it was a taboo thing. So it's, you know, it's a big part of our sort of lives and our discourse. So our beliefs about money are formed when we're very young, and this means that when we take on a belief, when we take on a behavior or a habit when we're very young, that can form a blueprint for the rest of our lives. So what do I mean by limiting beliefs? So things like believing that rich people are mean, money is not for me, if I have money then someone else has less money, not made of money. So these kinds of beliefs that keep us sort of stuck and unable to attract more wealth or allow wealth into our lives. So we're programmed with beliefs about money, as I said, when we're very, very young, and it often comes from our parents because they're our main caregivers. And if your parents had or have very negative beliefs about money, then the chances are that you will have picked up those beliefs as well. So it's important to know that how we handle money, how much we earn, how we're able to keep hold of money is coming from a belief system that we've picked up. And why it's important is because, or important to know, is because if you don't know that's what's happening, how can you change it? So the belief systems are coming from subconscious, the subconscious mind, i.e. below the level of consciousness. So we're not even aware of those programs that are running our habits around money. It's a bit like a sort of autopilot program running in the background. So if those beliefs that we pick up when we're very young become a blueprint for our own beliefs and behaviors about money as we grow up, this can explain why some of us struggle to get money or keep hold of money. And if money is not familiar to us, if it's not been a familiar thing in our lives, then it's quite possible that you will unconsciously get rid of money. So just as an example of how this happens, it's estimated that about 70% of lottery winners end up getting rid of everything, getting rid of all the money, giving it away, wasting it, buying things, and then they're left with nothing, because our subconscious mind loves familiar things, because the familiar makes us feel safe. And if money is not familiar, then without us even realizing how or why, we can end up getting rid of money. So it's important to look at the beliefs or the behaviors we have around money, especially right now. There's so much anxiety around, so much to what's going on. I believe it's also a time for, or there's a possibility for opportunity for us, especially as entrepreneurs. So the mind is always on the lookout for danger. It's always looking out for negative things. The mind's job is not to make you happy, it's not to make you successful. Its job is to keep you safe and to keep you alive, basically. So it's a survival mechanism. And what happens is, when there's an excessive amount of anxiety and fear in our lives, then we are allowing our mind over and run with that anxiety, and it shrinks us down. It shrinks down our comfort zone. This is what the mind loves. It loves us having a really small comfort zone where we're stable, everything is familiar, we're not taking any risks. As most people know, especially if you're in your own business, success comes from taking risks, from stepping outside of your comfort zone. So the more we allow anxiety and fear to take over, the smaller our comfort zone gets, and the less opportunities for success will come our way. When the body is flooded with these fight or flight chemicals associated with anxiety, we can also shut down to opportunity, because we're on the fight or flight level of things, of observing things around us. And so opportunities that come our way might just get lost because we won't be focusing on them. I think it's a subconscious mind can process, or the brain can process, about 20 million bits of information per second. So if you imagine how many things we are exposed to every single second, those opportunities, if we're not feeling calm and centered, if we're not feeling grounded, those opportunities can just get lost in the kind of excitement and the sort of anxiety of other stuff that's going on. So also, when we're anxious about money, it can push us into making riskier risks that are not beneficial. I know myself, I've been in a situation where I've been anxious about money and something's cropped up and I've thought, yes, I'm going to buy that. And I bought it out of kind of spontaneity, thinking, yes, that was going to help me. And it's been an absolute waste of time, because I haven't been grounded, I haven't been centered and focused and really thought about whether something would be helpful or not, because my levels of anxiety were high around the situation of money. So it's important to be calm. It's important to try and make having money familiar. So if you're someone who has struggled to make the money that you want, to have the income that you want, you can make money more familiar to you by using positive words to describe your financial situation. For example, if we use the word debt, this pain of difficulty, of challenge, The mind is wired to keep us away from pain. It's wired to keep us away from danger. So it will increase those levels of anxiety. So we can use the word investment. When we invest in ourselves, in training, even having a home is an investment. We can change our perspective on how we're spending money, where we're borrowing money, for example. And if we are using more positive statements about money, making money familiar, even when you're saying things like, I'll give you some examples of what I teach my clients. Money loves me. I love having money. The more money I have, the more I can help people. These words just being said randomly, they can be helpful, but the real power is in actually feeling the sensations of excitement, feeling gratitude, feeling a level of joy when you're actually saying those words. So you kind of embody the statements that you're saying to yourself. So when you're saying those words, stand tall, put your shoulders back, feel the confidence in yourself as you're repeating the positive statements to yourself. And in a sense, when you do that, you're rehearsing your moment when that wealth is coming to you. Because as I mentioned before, the mind loves the familiar. So if money is not familiar, it will make you reject it. So we want it to be familiar. We want to convince the mind that it is safe to have money, that is safe to be wealthy, it is safe to have the business or career success of our dreams. How else can we change our beliefs about money? We can do meditation, listen to hypnosis recordings. Hypnosis is a brilliant way to access the subconscious mind and make changes on a really deep level, changing that autopilot that is running 95% of everything we do, everything we believe, all our habits. Keeping our energy in the vibration of an energy of gratitude. So each time you buy something, every time you use your card to purchase something online, every time you've got cash in your hand, you can think about gratitude, how that is beneficial to you. Feel it in your body, feel the gratitude, because you are showing your mind again that it is safe to have money, it is safe to attract money, to allow money to keep flowing into your life. Working on your mindset is everything. You can have all the tools, all the strategies, all the systems in place for your business or your work, but if the subconscious programming that is running your behaviors get you your results, if you're not addressing those and transforming them, changing them in some way, then that sort of programming, that conditioning is going to keep running in the background, and it's going to be more challenging to move forward in the direction that you want to go in. So having money flowing into your life, having great success in whatever you do, it's not exclusive to a certain set of people. Anyone can achieve this if they know how to use their mind. Our minds are so massively powerful, and it's not about luck. It's not about where you are at the right time, the right place. It's about having the mindset and being open to opportunity, allowing money into your life. Getting support is really important. So whether that be with a mentor, a coach, or joining a community, because our mind's so powerful and has this natural tendency to look for the negative, because it's like a little bodyguard trying to keep us safe all the time, that we're held accountable for any transformation or any changes that we're trying to make. If you can, outsourcing things that you need to do is massively helpful, because when we're DIYing in our business, that often creates overwhelm. And the most successful people who are out there are outsourcing, they're taking support. And when we get overwhelmed, then that's when self-sabotage kicks in. It's when we start procrastinating, we get distracted, and then we're missing opportunities, we're making excuses, we're doubting ourselves. We end up, you know, not taking care of ourselves, reaching for the chocolate bar or whatever. So in conclusion, to allow wealth and money to keep flowing into our lives, we need to stay centered, develop some coping strategies for what is going on. As I mentioned before, and I'm sure as well in a webinar, that keeping grounded is working on.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Is my sound on? Okay, yes.
Sorry, I'm just concluding. I'll be finished in a moment. So we also have to be good at taking risks to get the life that we want, instead of staying in that tiny comfort zone, being visible, stepping out of our comfort zone, doing things that, yes, make us feel uncomfortable. We can make those uncomfortable things feel familiar to us, and sort of increase our success. We need to get good at asking for support, owning our worth, and creating new habits, making what we want familiar, and committing to change, committing to changing the belief systems, the limiting beliefs that are holding us back. And that's it. That's what all I wanted to say to you today. I don't know, is Sabine still there? Are we doing questions or?
Yes. Yeah, if anyone has a question for Emma, let's do it now. I think that would make a lot of sense, isn't it?
Yes, hello, hi.
Hi there.
Hi, Sabine.
Hello.
Hi, Emma. Thank you so much. That was amazing and very helpful.
Wow, well done.
Thank you, thanks. And I have a question. What would be the most effective affirmation, you know, that you suggest or you offer to clients regarding money? Because you said something like, money loves me. The more money I have, the more I can help people. Yes. What would be the one that you would like recommend that is, you know, your own?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like to prescribe that, oh, you know, people want money so they can help others. People might just want money because they want to help their family, and that's it. And you know, I respect that. I don't think there should be a kind of criteria of what we do with our money. My own personal one is yeah, money loves me and money follows me everywhere I go. So that's
really
the one
nice.
that I use. And also, just, you know, I suppose when I can pick up what might be helpful based on what their limiting beliefs are. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if someone wants to go for a promotion and they're going to get more money, but that, you know, their belief is, oh, I'm not good enough for that role, then changing it to I can bring a wealth of experience to this role. I deserve this role as much as anyone else. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's kind of working with whatever the situation is the person finds themselves in, whatever their limiting belief is, and what it is that they actually want. So, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about what we want. You know, I want this, I want that, I desire this. This is my vision for the future. However, that's only 5% of our mind's capacity. The other 95% are the limiting beliefs that are running our behaviors. So it's about matching the two things, matching the programming to the conscious. Does that explain?
Yes.
Helpful.
Thank you so much. Very, very helpful, very nicely said. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you for the question.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emma. Let's move on swiftly to Laura.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Let me pin you. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you. So,
how are you doing?
I think we're good. I think we just had some issues on Facebook, so we're not streaming into Facebook anymore because people were saying there's no sound. But we'll make sure we post this recording, so no worries at all. So, Laura, I know you for a while now, and you've got an amazing community called Rock Solid, where you got hundreds of people that you are supporting right now in what you do, and you're sharing your personal story as well as sharing fabulous tips around staying healthy and more importantly how we can spend this time being less anxious and getting through. So I look forward to hearing your tips, and maybe you can share this little mindset things as well that you had.
Yeah.
I found those really useful. Really.
How long have I got?
You got 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
You'll be fine.
All right, cool. We'll see what we can get done in 10 minutes then. Thank you, Sabine. I do appreciate it. Yeah, so hello, ladies. Along with my husband, called Rock Solid, and at the moment I think my clients are inspiring me, to be honest with you. I think they're doing better than me at some points, if I'm honest with you. So I'm here to talk to you guys about health and well-being, because I'm in the fitness industry, and wow, what a change, hey? The fitness industry has done a complete 180 in one night. Do you know what I mean? It's like we were all focused on the six-pack and the abs and the bikini body, and now it's all about health, which in my opinion is what it should have always been about. I don't know about you. And you know, it's not about getting shredded anymore. It's about being healthy and being well. Everybody's mind and on everyone's lips is the immune system. Got to keep your immune system up. Got to stay healthy. Do you know what I mean? All this sort of stuff. And so I've got a few things that I want to talk about, but I'm going to kind of just let it flow and see where this goes. Is that all right, ladies? Give me a thumbs up. Excellent. Cool. So we have an immune system, right? You can't boost your immune system. You have an immune system. We all have one, right? And what we've got to do is we've got to do things to be able to manage that. All right. And I've got a few things to help you here, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. And if you've got any questions afterwards, then please let me know. A lot of my things when it comes to health and anxiety are all coping mechanisms that I've put in place. I was medically retired from the police force after 10 years. I was a counter-terrorism intelligence officer and police officer, and I was medically retired because I had a diagnosis of bipolar and OCD. So what everyone's doing now around, you know, coronavirus, I do every winter with norovirus because it frightens the hell out of me as part of my OCD, right? So these are literally my coping mechanisms. Yeah, and I'm still here. I'm 40 years old. I'm still standing. So I want to share these with you because I think these are more relevant now than they ever have been. Okay, guys? So number one is, first of all, at the moment, while we're off, is about routine. The reason we're all getting anxious is because there's no certainty. We're waking up and we're wandering around in our, you know, Disney princess pajamas and not knowing what to do, where to go, or anything like that at all whatsoever. So for me, one of the big things that we teach our guys is about having a routine in the morning. Now, you might have to recreate your routines, right? And that's going to take, but once you have certainty around that routine, it will help to bring your anxiety levels down. And stress and anxiety is shown to reduce, you know, our immune system because our body is flying all sorts of hormones everywhere and not focusing on what it should be focusing on. So that would be my first tip for you guys, is get a routine in place. Most importantly, write it down, slap it on the fridge, put it in your journal, whatever you need to do, whatever's that's right for you. You know, my morning routine is I've put it on our Instagram page, so you can go and have a look at Rock Solid UK. But I make sure I do something for my mind, my body and my soul. And I put a little bit of work in there as well, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't meditate if I haven't checked my emails. You know, it's counterproductive for me. I need to know that I've squared at least part of the day off before I go and do a bit of meditation, okay? So that's number one, get a routine in place. Number two is do not overcompensate yourself at the moment. Just because you are working at home does not mean to say that you need to work extra long hours. Do not overcompensate, because again, you're going to stress yourself out. And when you stress yourself out, you're going to get anxious, you're going to get stressed. Again, it attacks that immune system with all these hormones. We've got to remember, ladies, that, I mean, yeah, or done this before, you know, and we're all rushing around trying to make sense of it, trying to understand it. And it's like, there's nothing that we need to do right now, right? We just need to focus on getting ourselves sorted. It's going to take a couple of weeks, right? Give it that time. Allow yourself that time. Don't get stressed out about that. Everybody's in the same boat, okay? None of us, I know Emma was talking about money, the rich, the poor, the in-between, they're all affected. Has no preference as to, you know, who gets this. Even health-wise, anybody could get it. I could get it, right? But the one thing we can do is to control what we can do. Morning routines. Don't overcompensate. Look after yourself. Take the time. You're not commuting, whether that's an hour for you, whatever it is, take that time. Be smart with it, okay? And be kind to yourself. It's the most important thing. Number three, the basics, sleep. Sabine was talking about sleep. You haven't got your sleep sorted, then again, your body is not rested. Your mind is not rested. You're not going to be able to focus on your work. That then has a knock-on effect, right? If we get our sleep, our emotional resilience comes up. You know, I don't know about you, I functioned for years on no sleep in the police force working shift work. I don't know anybody that says, I feel great after a bad night's sleep. None of us do. We make bad decisions, right? We're going to start drinking more coffee. We're going to start eating more crappy food. It all has a knock-on effect. So getting your sleep in, not just with a morning routine, but how about an evening routine? Rather than just going, right, 8:30, down tools, straight into bed. Give yourself some time to wind down. You know, we're working with some clients at the moment who literally work at home all day. They finish at 9:30, then they go to bed. And I'm like, your poor brain, your poor body. Give it a transition space. Give yourself time to transition from work mode into sleep mode, okay? Create a little sanctuary for yourself. I don't need to tell you this, but drink the water. You know, water gives us energy. It also detoxifies us, right? There's some things flying around about keeping your mouth dry and all this kind of stuff. And there's nothing scientifically proven. Just water will just help you in general. Sabine, yes, I see you drinking. Well done. Take time to meditate. And I'm not talking like woo kind of stuff. However you want to meditate, it doesn't matter. It might be that you sit and look outside the garden. You open your window. Meditation means that you stop for a minute and we don't worry about the past or the future. We just focus on now. Maybe you just focus on your breathing. Maybe you've got a plant that you want to study. I've got my little terrarium that I made, and I'll just study that for 5 or 10 minutes. And it just really just helps to relax your mind because there's so much going on at the moment. I don't know if you ladies have noticed that, you know, that you've got so much going on that you're finding it difficult to focus on stuff. Meditation will help that. Movement, get outside if you can do. If you are isolated and you cannot leave your house, then you can open your window. Make sure you're getting some fresh air, some sunlight on your body. you know, because it's just going to make you feel so much better. When we move our body, we feel so much better about ourselves. Our psychology affects our physiology, and our physiology affects our psychology, right? So even the way you sit will affect your mood and how you feel. That's a whole nother webinar. Do you know what I mean? Food. This is one thing that keeps coming up. You might find that you're reaching for the biscuits a bit more, or the chocolate a bit more, or, you know, the kind of sugary things a little bit more, or the savory things. Maybe the bread's looking rather tempting, and, you know, that's going to be currency soon. It's going to be £50 a slice, you know it, right? So if you find that that's happening, it might be, like Emma was saying, that you've got a few triggers clicking off there around emotional eating. Maybe could it be that you're stressed or anxious? Okay, how do we deal with that? Sleep, meditation, morning and evening routine, the basic stuff, right? It's something to be really, really cautious of at the moment, because these habits and behaviors are going to be, you know, flying off everywhere. One thing that I have done when it comes to my OCD is you have to be rational with this, right? You have to look at the facts. So with my OCD, for example, something might be out of place, and then I will catastrophize that into basically World War III happening. And so you have to really look at rationalizing your thoughts, because if you don't rationalize your thoughts, they will run away with you. So again, if you haven't had sleep, you haven't been meditating, you see it's all coming back to this routine and sleep, right? So you need to rationalize them. The way that we do that now is we do not watch too much of the news, and we do talk to friends more, because you will have it running around in your head. So many of us have got so much running around in our head at the moment, right? We cannot make sense of it. Our mind is trying to make sense of it. And then we're watching something on Facebook at like 11:30 at night that says stickers, which apparently is a thing going around. Do not stick a hairdryer up your nose, okay? Do not do that. But you will start to believe that, right? So talk to your friends about it. Make sure that you are thinking rationally. Write it down. Make sure you're reading the right kind of news stories and not the pseudoscience stories, okay, guys? They would be my top things at the moment to help with your immune system. And you see that all of this has a knock-on impact, because health is not just about weight loss anymore. Health is about lifestyle. This is what this is about now. It's something that we've always talked about. I've got a cat hair. It's not just about your food. It's not just about your exercise. It's not going to cut it. Not at all. It's about the whole thing, the umbrella. If you look at well-being, what people have been talking about and people have been ignoring, so they say it's fluffy. It ain't. It's the good stuff. It's the stuff we should all be doing, right? Shredding for summer and all this sort of stuff is over. We need to look at our well-being, and we need to look at our health. Food, water, exercise, thought management, me time. That's well-being for me. That's what we teach. So there you go. That's my little thing for today. Sabine, you wanted me to read this out, yeah?
Oh yes, fabulous.
So this was actually put up in our 365 group, F365 group, which is our membership group, where we basically help people understand their minds and help them create their own version of health. So it's called the Mindset Shift During the Pandemic, and I sent it out on our email list. So the first one is, it's just about shifting your mindset. I'm stuck at home. And the swap is, I get to be safe in my home and spend time with my family. I will get sick. I will self-isolate and wash my hands. This will significantly decrease my chances of getting sick. I will run out of items at home during self-isolation. I have prepared for this, and I will use my items wisely. I have everything I need for now. Everything is shutting down. I'm panicking. Huge one. The Most call centres, pharmacies and grocery stores remain open. There is too much uncertainty right now. All my actions, doing breath work, meditation, calling loved ones, talking to people, getting enough sleep and proper nutrition, prayer, if that's your thing, and doing activities I love at home will all help during this time.
Fantastic. Thank you so.
You're welcome. It's the basics. That's what it is. But we're always thinking that there's another way or a quicker way when unfortunately there isn't.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
Do you have any questions for Laura before we move on? Anyone, feel free to either put it in the chat or unmute yourself. Thank you, Laura. Everyone's saying thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think Sharon's back. I think she has some issues on the internet. I believe the internet's very, very busy right now, so a lot of people probably on a Zoom call or something, right? But let's see what happens. Oh, Sharon's here. Let me just spin the video. So welcome, Sharon. You're going to talk about, I guess, the leadership side of things, like if you are working from home remotely or if you are leading a team remotely. So how can you do that? What's the...
Awesome. Thank you, Sabine. And yeah, just to let everybody know, I don't have a 5G network. I'm in the mountains. So sometimes it will cut out. If it does, I'll get back as quickly as possible and Sabine will pop in if that happens. So basically, we are all leaders now. We all lead our lives. So it's up to us to take responsibility for our lives and our actions. It's not about the leader telling us what to do or when to do it or how to do it. And this is something that leaders, managers in a corporate business world are not prepared for. They typically don't operate that way. So a lot of what Laura said and what Emma said, as a leader, you would have to do for yourself first. And then understand that everybody that you're leading on your team is going to be undergoing the same pressures. And so some of the practices that we use today in business world, like scarcity thinking, you know, there's not enough time to get everything done, so everybody has to pitch in and work faster. All of that scarcity thinking type of fear-based motivation won't work anymore. It's going to backfire on you because everybody's already in fear. Everybody's already in scarcity thinking. Everybody's already thinking about, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources, all my kids are home, what am I gonna do now? You know, how do I chunk that time up so that I can actually be productive and do the work and get it done, and still maintain myself in the meantime. So as a leader, understanding that you have your own reactions, take care of yourself first and make sure that your biases and your reactions are handled so that you're in good shape. Because if you're not in good shape, you can't handle everybody else's not in good shape. And your team members, they're not all going to be in good shape. So understand and listen in new ways. Understand that where they're coming from and where they're in scarcity thinking, help them to get out of that. A lot of the strategies that Laura gave us are the ways to help your team get out of that. Suggest that they drink water. Suggest that they maybe bake a loaf of bread. Maybe do something that would get them out of that scarcity thinking mode. And if anything is enough in your body, enough sleep, enough nutrition, enough hydration, then you can actually untrigger your brain from survival brain thinking to the frontal cortex and innovative and creative thinking. So if you can help your kids, your spouse, your team members unhitch the survival train then they can get to survival, to more creative thinking and be more productive in the hours that they need to be. The other thing is there is no scarcity on hours of work. When you're in a corporate work environment, you have to go to the office. It takes you time to get there. It takes you time to get home. There's lunch breaks, there's coffee breaks, there's all that kind of other stuff that happens. Typically on a work day, as a leader, your expectations are not 8 hours of work from every single productive resource you have on your team. It's usually about 4 to 6 hours. If you get a good 4 to 6 hours worth of work from your resources, fabulous. Help them do that while they're living at home, while they're working from home. Make sure that they have the time, space necessary, clear the barriers, make sure that the technology is there for them, make sure that they are taking care of themselves and their family and their environment. Make sure that they're going out and exercising, check in with them. It's just a different level of listening and communication that has to happen. And it has to come from the heart. You're dealing with this yourself, and all your team members are dealing with it as well. So do what you can to listen from them and understand what's going on. And what's really, really important is not to interrupt them if they're in a productive cycle. So listen and understand when they want you to interrupt them and communicate in excess, versus those on your team that may just want to just leave me alone. I'll get it done. I'll get it done in my time. I'll have it done by this date, and check in with them occasionally, but don't interrupt them if that's the way they like to work. So everybody works differently. The one-way highway, typical approach that we currently have in our business won't work. It's not one way anymore. We have multiple different ways of working from multiple different places, with multiple different styles and approaches. So leadership listening skills and understanding what your team really needs is critically important at this time. Address yourself first, make sure your team has what they need, and set them off to success. So the next part is entrusting them to do what they said they would do, and helping to support check-ins to see if they need any additional help or additional resources to help them deliver as they promised. So, and what is it that's maybe preventing them from getting things done? And it may be something that's totally unrelated to work and business. It's probably something that's going on at home. Someone is sick, someone has flu symptoms, and everybody is freaking out as a result in the household. So, what do you have to do? What can you do as an employer to help support that, and provide the advice and the resources to clear that barrier so that they can be the brilliant, productive person that they could be in any way. And seek new avenues of information. There's a ton of people who have been working from home for years now. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that already have this knowledge and experience. Many of us here on this call, and certainly those that are contributors on the empowerment portal, we have the advice. We've been doing this for a long time. So, learn from us and find the resources that you need, whether it's this empowerment portal or something else. Find the resources that from the people who've been there and done it for the last 5-10 years, or even the last year is sufficient. There's setting up time, distance, as well as setting up physical distance, accessibility. So accessibility to timeframes. So for instance, with Sabine, she handles her kids in the morning, her husband handles her kids in the afternoon while she does her work. And this is time distance is one of those things that works really, really well when you're working at home as an entrepreneur. And your team members may have their own time distance that they require. So it could be that that Bob needs to work from 7 o'clock in the evening until midnight, and that's his best hours of working. You can't expect him to be on a video conference call at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because he's busy doing something else. He's committed to elsewhere with something else. And as we all shift to this working in this new online world, the 9 to 5 environment may actually change up quite significantly. I know it was quite an adjustment when I moved into the mountains, and Monday to Friday means nothing in vacation territory. When people are coming out for their vacations, they're coming to the mountains on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So who gets to work on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? The people who live here. So, you know, when I first moved here, not having my Saturday, Sunday was a big concern. It was a big issue, and became a complete place of uncertainty that I had to live into, lean into, and then adjust with. And now a weekend is whenever I have 2 days off in a row. And that's it, what I give myself, which is really cool. So if the tourists are all up here on Saturday, Sunday, I can give myself a Tuesday, Wednesday off and go to the lake and the mountains and do my experiences in the wilderness at different times than everybody else. So you can see separation in time and space, in addition to separation physically, is all part of this new environment that you as a leader are leading in your own life, in the life of family and friends around you, and in the lives of your team members who are working for you. The other thing is to reach out and tap onto resources that were never available to you in a standard typical office work environment. The moms who are staying at home with their kids are brilliant brains. You can tap into those now. You don't have to just rely on people who can make it into the office and be there 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. You can actually tap into that global intelligence in new ways. If you are lacking resources, you need more brain power on a challenge or an activity, reach out and grab it. There's a lot of people who are looking for opportunity to share their brilliance, opportunity to get that experience moving along. And as a leader of yourself, I mean, understand as well that your staff may be leading themselves in new ways as well. Help support them in that. If they choose to start their own business and become their own entrepreneur, great. Have them complete the work that they're doing for you, and then help support them in moving forward in new directions. You're a career coach, you're a mentor, you are a support system for them. And copying the old ways of leadership in the past and pasting them into the future is not going to work anymore. This is a new environment, and we can create it completely new on a long-term basis for our long-term future and sustainability of our planet and our people.
Well said. Thank you so much, Sharon. It's a big shift. I think there is a big shift going to happen, absolutely. Do you have any questions for Sharon? Yeah, Ona, thank you for being with us. So I just want to kind of tell you guys what we've been up to in the background, because obviously Sharon just mentioned about potentially some resources that you may be needing. Obviously we at the Empowerment Portal, we have been working towards this point in time almost like for the past 12 months, where we have actually pulled together 30 different experts that can actually support not only in these times, but generally if there's people that you know. And I just wanted to share this with you, how we can help and how we actually, what are the things that we're doing and what we've actually already put in place and where you can get some more support. So first and foremost, we're here to help. And, you know, it's not that you guys need to go this path alone. Now, we are here to support you, empower you, and move people through this current time of crisis and uncertainty. So we are actually running free live webinars continuously. So please, if you're not registered yet, we will send out weekly newsletters with more resources, with more webinars that we have coming up. So there's the link here that you could potentially grab, and I know Sharon or someone else is going to just put it into the chat box right now. Number two, the empowerment portal as such is now opening its doors to individuals and organizations for up to 80% off, because we do recognize that we want to support and we want to actually provide these resources to you right now. So what we also looking at adding, we've already started to add bonuses that are really relevant right now. Right, so these are immune boosting meditations, resources to support you, as in schooling resources, as in how to move through health, physical exercises we've got on there, recipes that you can obviously follow in these times and can be very creative with. So there's all kinds of different additional bonuses coming onto the portal right now. And of course, another thing, if you are potentially thinking about or you are already an entrepreneur, I am actually working in the space of entrepreneurship. So I have put together free calls as well for webinars as part of for the portal members to future-proof their business, to help them start their own business. So you can actually join those as well and learn the ropes of how you can actually start your business. That's all inside the portal. Now, how can you take advantage of the portal? We have got available Empower Me Now vouchers. So that means you will receive up to 80% off now for life, which is an absolutely incredible opportunity. You will get into the portal for only £97 right now as an annual membership. Normally, you imagine it's 80% off, right? So, jump in and just grab all these amazing resources. Laura's stuff is in there. Emma's meditations are in there as well, and the money mindset information is in there as well. Sharon's leadership tools are in there, and then with that we have another 20 amazing contributors in the space of mental wellness, physical wellness. We have career coaching in there. We have leadership tools in the membership, and we have entrepreneurship. So if you want to start your business, there is a course, a program, a path in there to help you with that as well. There is a link to the empowerment portal. Again, if one of the ladies could just pop that in there for you. So I just want to mention there are two different levels. If you go onto the page, the one is the entry level, which is called the Grow Emerging Leaders, and then there's the Empower Evolving Leaders. So the Grow Emerging Leaders is currently at £97 or the year as a yearly membership, where you will find all the topics I just mentioned. The difference is with the Empower Evolving Leaders is that you actually also get to get on calls with the with all the mentors in there. So you actually have additional complementary calls and more in-depth leadership tools. Obviously, that's like a more advanced kind of portal. If you want to, go in for the 97 for now, you can always upgrade later. Have a look around. We are also starting. We're having also a community around it, right? This is about you being able to come and ask questions. So we will be hosting more live webinars for our community going forward as well, to help you with individual circumstances. If you have any more questions, for any of the speakers today or the portal, please unmute, just put in the chat, and also you can reach out to us as well. We have a Facebook page, the Empowerment Portal. I'm on Sabina Matharu, of course. You can also connect with me, and I have a Facebook group for entrepreneurs. It's called Future Proof Your Business with Sabina Matharu, and we're also on LinkedIn through my own name and the Empowerment Portal too. So that said, I'll stop